Want to, Jane, and love it. Thank you guys for joining us this Friday morning. And anyway, we got a decent crowd, not as many as usual, but you know what? I always say it doesn't matter. It's kind of like church. You know, the ones who are there are the ones who are meant to be there. And hopefully you'll get something out of today's training. Um, and I wanted to bring on a special guest today, and this is my wife, my lovely wife, Rebecca White, and we call her Becky. And Becky and I have been married, I'm going to say 28 years, something like that now. So
38.
38. Oh my gosh. So Becky was like 5 years old when I married her. So, and anyway, so 38 years. That's amazing. How did we do
30.
that?
I don't know. We've been together for 40
I
or
know, right?
41.
So yeah, I think you were 2 when I met you. So um, anyway,
Yeah,
so
whatever.
yeah, this was fun though. It's been a great 38 years, and you know, I always tell people in this business, that you've got to have a supportive spouse. It's so important to have somebody that'll back you and support you. Um, and when we first started, Becky and I talked about this, and when I first started, she was scared to death of me buying leads. Like she'll be the first one to tell you, like you're not spending any money on leads because we were living paycheck to paycheck. We were both school teachers, and you get paid on the 20th of every month. And when you get paid on the 20th of each month, that means you get 30 days before you get paid again. And many times you'd get down there around the 15th, and it's like, how are we going to make it? You know, but that's just the way it was. And then all of a sudden, I started this new job, and she's like, you want to spend $200 on what? Are you crazy? You know, well, that's just the way it is. But that Becky will vouch later on, whenever our deposits quit coming in or wasn't coming in as good as they used to, what's the first thing you'd say, Becky?
You better buy leads.
So she said, she's like, Darren, our bank account's going down. You,
Yeah.
have you been buying leads? I'm like, no, I'm kind of being cheap lately. And she said, go buy you some leads. She understood about the concept of it's like owning that restaurant. If you're not buying and advertising, and you're not putting food on the shelf or whatever, and you're going to run out. So you've got to always refurbish and resupply, right? All right. So Becky, what do you have to say to us this morning? We're going to show Becky a video from Becky back in conference. It's a 12-minute long, and then Becky has to leave at 9:30. So we're going to make this a short and sweet presentation.
Yeah, I gotta go get my grandbabies.
Yeah.
Oh, good morning, everyone. It's nice to see everybody.
Morning.
I This was like a last minute thing he told me yesterday. So, I guess my video from our last year's conference will kind of explain everything, but I just want everybody to know that I am my husband's number one supporter. Nobody's going to be more supportive of him than I am, and he knows that. So this video will explain a little bit of that. So, and if you have any questions, you can ask me. I'm more than willing to answer any questions you have.
So here's what we're going to do. Jane, go ahead and put it on the video. And this is from our national conference back in November. And then we're going to be making our announcement when Scott gets back on our next national conference. This is 12 minutes long. After the video, we're going to open up questions to Becky, okay? So go ahead, Jane.
I wanted to introduce the next speaker. I was trying to think of a walk-up song, and so I was thinking walk-up song, and I'm thinking the Loretta Lynn song, like "You Ain't Woman Enough to Take My Man," and she would kill me. So I'm like, no, never mind. So we did Helen Redding, "I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar." 'Cause I've heard this lady roar a few times, and I wouldn't be where I am today without it. You got to hear my story tomorrow night. And my story is all about going through the ups and the downs, and whenever you go through the hardest, roughest moments in your life, you've got to have somebody there to push you along the way, right? And that's what this lady's been. She's been my backbone, and she's everything. And the Ages First wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for her. So let's give it up for my wife, Rebecca White.
Good morning. I fight with this stuff
afraid of my throat, so bear with my voice. I actually completely lost my voice a couple of days ago, which was very exciting, but he was proud of that. My name is Becky, and I'll just tell you a little bit about myself.
Sure.
I teach high school, so I've been a high school teacher for many, many years. I did teach high school English for most of those years. I met Darren 40 years ago. So, yeah, because we've been married 37 years. Way back. So, 40 years there. So, I do know him better than anybody in this world. So, yeah. So, nobody knows him better than I do. Darren wanted me to speak about being the spouse of an insurance entrepreneur. It's so much fun. That's sarcasm. No, I'm just teasing. No, I'm so proud of him. He's the type of person, because he was a teacher and a wrestling coach for 25 years. He puts everything into whatever he does. Always. Always. He never gives less than 100%. He puts everything. He wants anything he does to be a success. In his wrestling programs, he had the most successful wrestling programs in the state. People would be on a waiting list to get into his tournaments because he made them so successful. That's just the type of person he is. When he goes for something, he goes all in for something. So that's who you're getting in Darren. Just letting you know for that. Anybody who knows him can tell you the same thing. When Darren first started, we were both teaching. Of course, he's coaching. How many years ago? 6 or 7 years ago. He just, as I don't know how many of you know, teachers, especially being married teachers, you make enough to get by and pay your bills, and there's not a lot extra, sometimes never. And so he wanted to do something to supplement his income and just to be more. So that's what started him in this. And he saw this online or on the internet and said, I can do this. And I said, go for it. I never thought it would turn into this ever, because I was just resigned, I'll just teach the rest of my life. We'll both retire, may not have any retirement, but we will retire from teaching. And I'm glad he did this. He put everything into this. When he actually decided to retire from teaching and coaching, it was scary. I'm not going to lie. It was so scary because, at least with his teaching, you have this monthly salary. Not very much, because he said, Becky, I can make my monthly salary in 2 days. And I said, yeah, but you got to make that monthly salary too, but I never told him no, ever. I never said, you're not quitting your job. You are not doing this. And because the 2 words I was thinking about whenever he asked me to talk about being a spouse was support and adaptability. So there's 2 words I came up with, because I am 100% behind him. He's always made sure, yes, do I get stressed? Yes. Most of the time, he doesn't know that. And I know he gets stressed, I can see it, but he doesn't tell me everything of all of the underlying things. But he's always been able to make it work, always. So that's just one thing with support. So I learned the word support whenever he actually quit his job and knew there was no turn back. And then a year later, he's going strong and everything's going great. And a year later, he gets sick. And he'll tell you all this. I'm not going to go into those details. And it was hard. And it was, I never was one to be, I'm not ever wanting to be in the nursing field or anything like that. I'm too squeamish. But I became his biggest supporter, because I'm taking care of him. And whenever he was at his lowest low or his highest high, I'm there, and I'm not ever going to discourage him or say anything negative. He's all about positivity. He'll tell me every day, surround yourself with positive people, or he will tell you that. Life's too short to be around negative people. If you're around negative people, find somebody who can uplift you, somebody who can be positive. And so that's what I was for him, positive. Because it was hard. He went from being up, doing all of this stuff, where he couldn't do anything for months. And we made things work. We worked. He still worked. And I was on him. I wasn't a negative. I'm saying, honey, you're going to do this. You've got to work. You're going to do this. You can't get down. You can't give up. You have to do this. And we work up. God is on our side. We believe God, but first, God first. And He took care of everything. We never missed a pill. We never missed doing anything. So during all those hard months, which he'll talk about in his story, but support, no matter what, you've got to be a supportive spouse, or hopefully you have a supportive spouse. Some of you may not, but that's one of my keywords, is support and adaptability. I've always believed in Gil, through highs, lows, and the queens, always. He is the greatest man I know. He truly is. Like I said, we've been 40 years together, married 37, and there's nobody I want to do like with. He is the greatest man I know. He's the hardest worker I know. He works 24/7 sometimes. I mean, I'll go to bed and I don't know if he's ever gone to bed. And he'll say, I think I got an hour of sleep. And then he'll say, why do you get up so early? Because I'm a 4:30 in the morning person. That's just me. I'm a morning person. But then the next word was adaptability, because of adapting to our situation. He never gave up. I never gave up on him. I adapted to the situation, and we turned things around. He turned things around to make sure that everything was going to be good. Don't give up. I want to read 𝘠𝑚 as the English teacher course. I want to read this for you. Found this one. This is John Greenleaf Whittier. Some of you probably know him. This poem is Don't Quit, and it fits that time that we went through. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. Life is strange with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure comes about when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell just how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when your hardest hit. It's when things seem worse that you must not quit. For all the sad words of tongue or pen, the saddest are deeds it might have been. That's just awesome. That fits our life. I could get that. Yeah, he didn't quit. He didn't give up. I wasn't going to let him give up. He'll tell you that. We went too far, done too many things. He's made it too far to quit, and he will not quit. Whenever we're talking about adaptability, and I told somebody yesterday that I was talking to, that I believe that the words that you speak are your strongest tools. Okay, they can be the strongest tools or your most powerful weapons. And teaching school, of course, I see this every single day. That's why you surround yourself with positive things. We don't speak negative things. I don't even let my students say, Miss Light, I think I'm getting sick. I feel like a tickle in my throat. I'm like, no, don't say that. You do not ever say that. And they don't. I said, we don't say anything negative in here. And so they learn that, and your power of your words. And I see it every day in these kids, and these kids, somebody will give them compliments. Oh, what a, pretty shirt, or your hair looks nice, or your makeup looks good. One person comes around and knocks them down, and that's all they remember. That's it. They do not remember all the positive They remember that one negative that sticks in their brain, one negative thing. You can have 100 positive things and one thing negative happens or one negative comment, and that's what you remember. And that's kind of sad, but I see it every day. So surround yourself with positivity. Try to think positive things. Try not to even say negative things. You might think them, but your words are your powerful tool. So focus on the positive. Yes, there will be negative. Everything's not going to be great, but focus on the positive. Try to only say the positive. Think negative if you want, but once those words comes out, that's what you're going to believe. So powerful words. The next thing, and I tell my kids this, I'll say, okay, what you speak means something. Try to speak light, positive. Don't speak doubt and discouraging. Surround yourself with positive people. And to my husband, I want to say, just remember that through all the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, that I am your number one supporter. Number one, nobody else on this team will ever be a bigger supporter than I am. God is in control, and I've always got your back. And I'm going to read one more poem for you. This is See It Through. When you're up against in trouble, meet it squarely, face to face. Lift your chin and set your shoulders, plant your feet and take a brace. When it's vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fail, but you may conquer. See it through. Black may be the clouds about you and your future may seem grim, but don't let your nerve desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. If the worst is bound to happen, spite of all that you can do, running from it will not save you. See it through. Even hope may seem futile, but with troubles you're beset. But remember you are facing just what other men have met. You may fail, but all still fighting. Don't give up, whatever you do. Eyes front, head high to the finish. See it through.
All right. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Becky. And powerful, powerful words, guys. Any questions for Becky? She's got to leave and go take care of those grandbabies here in a few minutes. So we got chats here. Let's see what's going on in chat. And then feel free to open up and anyone talk. So let's see some of the stuff, Becky, as we read through these. Yeah, this is some earlier. Hey, Miss Becky, can you post this so we can have the poem? Okay, yeah, Gail wants to know about the poem, so we will make sure we can get that. And I'll tell you where to find this video. So sweet, Becky and Darren. I love your love and support for each other. That's good. So I have two. I have two with my husband and Pete. Good, 30 years. Good job, Sherry. You're a blessed man, Darren White. Yes, I am. Not everyone has that. Had that, my brother. No, they don't, and that's too bad. Focus on the positive. I guess if we got something out of that, that sure was good, right? I would have loved Becky as my high school teacher. Yep, students are blessed. Isn't that the truth? Her students are, and she, we talk about retirement for Becky because someday I don't want her to have to work. She works hard, like probably the hardest worker I know, on her feet all day long, nonstop. She is Becky, what do you do when you're at school? What's your subject?
Well, now I teach family and consumer science, which is life skills for my high school students. I teach them cooking. We do cooking lessons. We learn how to sew. We learn all about family and parenting. So I have those classes. I have a hospitality class. So my hospitality class, we fix food for every home game, every home football game, every home basketball game, every tournament, track. So we're constantly busy. We're so busy this coming year, they're giving me 2 hospitality classes. So because they want the food and everything's homemade, everything. So my kids are learning a lot and they love, love, love it. they love even learning how to sew. They don't think they will, but they do. It's a hands-on. Everything's hands-on, and they love it. I do miss English. I miss the literature. I miss the writing, but I love what I'm doing now.
And it's important that so we talked about getting where Becky can retire, and she could. She could retire this year if we wanted to, but she still loves what she does. And I relate back to me as a coach. One of the reasons I took me so long to get away from coaching is I actually love coaching, and I'm like, I'm going to miss that part of my life. And once it's gone, it's gone. And I know Becky loves the kids. Like that is her life right now. But at some point, she's also tired, and she's ready for the next area. And we talked about it, and we said, let's go ahead and one more year. She agreed that she wanted to work one more year, so we're going to let her work next year. And after next year, hopefully, Agents First is going to the point that no looking back, right? And see it through. I love that poem, Becky, and see it through and never quit. That very powerful words from that. So thank you. Anybody have something to say to Becky this morning before she takes off to those grandbabies? Somebody unmute and talk.
Thank you, Becky. You're as sweet as can be. And I see why Darren loves you so much. And just you two are precious together. And thank you. That was very uplifting and good words to live by. I'm trying to get my avatar off. There it goes. Here I am.
Hi.
Hi there. Hi
Hi.
there. So yes, so thank you very much, and
You're welcome.
appreciate you. Thank you for your support and love for Darren, and we're gonna see this through. I'm
Yes.
so excited.
Love it.
Yes, me too.
Just gonna say thank you as well, and can't wait to meet you.
Yes.
Can't wait to meet
Hopefully
you
that'll be-
either.
I got to steal your husband for a day when he came down to Dallas for
Yeah.
NASCAR.
Yeah, he kept sending me pictures, and I said, stop sending me pictures because I should have been there. It was the last 2 weeks of school, so I couldn't go. I couldn't leave my kids for 2 weeks because we had all of the end of school stuff. So
And Leanne was referring to the NASCAR event that I guess,
NASCAR
okay.
but then she was also at the one you're talking about.
boot camp.
Florida, yes, the
Mhm.
Florida trip.
Becky missed getting to go to Sarasota, and she wanted to go so bad. And then I sent her
Mhm.
pictures of the beach, and she was a little jealous. So, but she'll get her times. It was the last week of school. You'll get many more of those times to go places. So, and you guys will get to meet Becky in person at our national convention, and we're talking about that being in October of this year. And we're looking at either Dallas region or Las Vegas. We decided not to do it in Oklahoma. We want to be where flights. We're really trying to be more conscious of you guys, where you can find a direct flight there and not have to, and trying to make it more reasonable. Plus the carriers that we're going to try to get carriers to come down, and they're not going to want to come to a little bitty town in the middle of nowhere. So we will do it right. If we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. So we'll either be in Dallas area or in Las Vegas. And we'll make that decision here pretty quick. And we'll be making that announcement. You'll get to meet Becky at that one for sure. And so Becky, thank you for being on. Anybody else want to say hi to Becky before she takes off? And
I'll say something. Yeah. Hey, Becky, Darren's been very supportive. I've known Darren now for about 2 months, and he's very supportive. I check in with him all the time, and he's very positive. And you guys seem very happy. I wish I had a wife like Becky. And
we are.
and
I know
that's pretty
everybody's
cool.
not so lucky to have my man.
Yeah. And I just want to let you know, he does put it all out there. And I do the same thing. I used to be a coach, and I used to motivate my children to be very good at their sport. And I could see a lot of what Darren does and from coaching, and he translates it over here into our industry here. And I just want to let you know, he's very supportive of me, and I appreciate him. And your inspiring speech was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you, Tony. All right. Guys, if I say anything, it's so important. If you have a spouse, and this video, I'll tell you where to find this video. Gil was asking about that and the poem. This video is posted on Agents First Insurance website, our YouTube channel. And that's where Jane pulled it from, right, Jane? So you can get it from Agents First Insurance YouTube, and it's just, you know, the wife of a insurance entrepreneur or something like that. Anyway, it's Becky White on there, Rebecca White, and you can find it. Sit down with you and your spouse sometime and watch this video together. It truly, don't ever try to do something on your own. It won't work. I mean, to some degree, you've got to have support. You've got to be in this thing together. You are an independent business owner. And can you imagine opening up a restaurant and your wife, or I just always use a restaurant because that's just something people can do, right? Anyone go out there and open it up and good luck, right? Or your spouse. How many think that would ever work? One of two things is going to happen. Either you're going to get a divorce or the business is going to go under, because they have to coincide together. And once Becky realized I was all in, she said, I'm going to get behind this guy. Now, what if I came home and all I ever did was be negative around Becky? And I complained all the time, and she saw all the negativity, and that's all she ever seen from me. Do you think I would have had her support? Heck no. She wouldn't have supported me. She would have said, Darren, stop it. I can remember way back in the day, Becky, whenever I was working at Wrangler and I hated that job, and I came home every day and complained about it, right? And my hands hurt. I'm like, I hate doing this. And what did you say? If you don't like it,
do something. Yeah, go to school, get a degree, do what you love.
She said, what do you want to do? And I said, I don't know. I always wanted to coach, you know. And she's like, well, then why aren't you doing that? I'm like, because you got to go to college. You don't go to college. And this later, I would start to college later in life, right? After we even had our first kid. And she's like, go to college. And she pushed me to go to college. And then I got my associate's degree, and she said, are you done? I said, no. She said, go on then. You're not done. You got 2 more years. Go get your bachelor's. Pushed me to get my bachelor's degree. I started coaching. I taught at school and started coaching. She followed suit and got her teaching degree. But she's always, no matter what, if you came home and you complain about what your job and that's all your wife or your husband ever sees is the negativity, they're not going to support you. Show positive in what you do, and let them know the strength behind what we're doing. And if you do that, they'll support you. And once you start doing well in it, they will really support you, right? And because they begin to see the numbers. And I love that. I always use that analogy of how Becky, remember, coming up to me and says, you hadn't been buying leads, have you? I'm like, no. And she's like, buy leads. And it just is at the 180 from where we started. But once they actually see it, it changes everything. So if you're not married, go find you a good woman. And I found her in church. So if you're looking for a place to find a good woman, go to church.
My school kids will say, where did y'all meet? Did y'all meet in a bar? I said, no, we met at church. That's a big deal. I'm going to have to go. I got to go get my grandbabies.
Becky, can I say something real quick?
See you all.
Yes. Becky, hang on. Helen wants to say something, or I think it's Helen. Go ahead.
Yes. So, Becky, I just want to tell you, thank you for everything that you're doing, the support standing behind Darren, because as being in this business along with Darren for a long time, almost a decade, I have seen Darren push his way through having to actually work just to pay back commission from other agents, chargebacks, and you were there to stand by him. So if we would not have a Becky, Darren could have pulled out, and guess what? We will not have an Agent First right now. So I just say thank you. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you, Helen.
Bye, everybody.
Becky loves Helen. Helen's been with me for a while, and we talk about her all the time. And she loves Helen and Trisha. And those two ladies have been very supportive of me, and they're supportive, and Becky's supportive of them. So thank you, Helen. All right, guys. Hey, it's 9:30. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and stop the training today, and I hope you got something out of it. It was a blessing to me to be able to have my wife on here And if you ever want any of these trainings, just go to Agents First YouTube TV, Agents First Insurance YouTube TV. Pull any training you want, share them with people, share them with your spouse, share them with your friends. Let them know they can watch that. We got to see this Wednesday. We got to see the best of 𝘬𝗏𝗏𝗏, and so it was kind of cool. No more trainings today. We're not going to do our health training today. We're going to get in there and start selling. Okay, so when we get off of here, everybody's going to stay on here. Tommy, will you do me a favor? Will you lead? Tommy, will you lead the sales team today? And I know Tommy, we talked about it last night, but just go ahead and stay in the main room. And anybody who wants to hear Tommy, he's going to be selling here in about 5 minutes. You guys stay on here, listen in, dial in, zoom in, whatever you want to do. But let's get selling today and put up some big numbers. Love you guys, and we will see you around.